Good morning, everyone. I just want to welcome you to the Tool Family Weekly Update. As I mentioned a couple weeks ago, Patty had a scan, an MRI of her brain, and her original 11 tumors in her brain have turned into 9, and all of them are either shrinking or remaining stable. And so we've been celebrating that. But she also had this week a full body scan, and it is completely clean, and so we're so excited that it has not metastasized anywhere else to her body. And so her doctors are thrilled, and she just needs to continue to stay on her chemo routine, and hopefully as she does that, she'll remain stable for a while now. As far as me, you've probably picked up by my tone and even some of the things from Facebook, or maybe even from conversations of others, is I haven't done too well the last couple of weeks. I'm definitely starting to weaken. I'm catching myself not able to do some of the normal things I do with the animals. We've needed some help there. I'm sitting a lot more. The more I take of pain medication, the more sedated I get a little bit. And I tell my kids that there'll probably be a lot less dad jokes, but I feel a little more medicated and weakened. And because of that, roles are reversing in our house. Patty, I've been the primary caregiver for a while now, and now I'm becoming the primary care recipient. And it's a change for us, but it's a good one. Patty really has wanted to care for me, and she's really playing the role of primary caregiver as long as well with Jake and Connor. And so they're really stepping up. As I'm able to do less, they're able to do more. But it has reminded me that the more I give up control, which is hard for me, and you probably know that, the more I actually start to see the love of Christ through others. And I've really seen that. And I think the image I keep getting is that favorite Bible school passage, and I may have it wrong. I think it's in Mark 2, of where the friends take their friend who's paralyzed and lower them because they couldn't get in because the house was so crowded surrounding Jesus. They went on the roof and lowered their friend to the feet of Jesus. And I feel like that's really happening. I feel like the more I give up control, the more vulnerable I am about my situation, and I tell people, the more I'm seeing the love of Christ in others towards me. And I'm realizing I have a much wider team than I ever knew. I have had wonderful calls from some of my best friends from high school and college. I think about how many people at St. Andrews has cooked us meals for the last 4 or 5 months, 3 times a week. I think about how many cards weekly I sit down to cards and people will put Bible verses or poetry, or a lot of you through Facebook will send me music because it came to your heart and you thought of me. And whenever you think of a song and you think of me and you send it to me, that means a lot to me. And they've all been very timely. I think about my primary team, which is my parents and my brother Jay. They've done a lot, and Connor and Patty and Jake. I realize my team's wider than I realized. And then a couple of weeks ago, I had my former boss and mentor and friend Todd Bolsinger do a webinar with me at Fuller Seminary through their webinar, through the Dupree Center. And I started seeing who was on the screen, and it was people from all over. It was people from my former church, San Clemente, and many of you are following this video, and it's been over a decade, but it's amazing that as I'm vulnerable and share my needs, the love of Christ is shown through you. And so it's rekindling old friendships and new friendships. And what was great after that webinar is through Todd and his team, they set up a GoFundMe page. And you guys have been gracious to us. People from all over have been giving to us financially, and that's been helpful for medical bills and to supplement some of the disability until we figured some things out. And that has been tremendous. And what even shocked me is looking at people who gave to me, and there was 2 people from my middle school who gave money to us. And again, it shows me how wide a team God has put in place for me, and that you guys are literally lowering me to Jesus' feet. And not even metaphorically. In some ways, you're carrying me to eventually see the feet of Jesus, literally, to actually embrace Jesus. You're going to carry me all the way. And I know that, and I love that, and I thank you for that. So again, I just encourage all of you, kind of the same message to myself, as we give up control, we really do start seeing the love of Christ through others towards us. But we have to be vulnerable, and we have to share our need. I do have some prayer requests. First prayer request is just continue to pray for the efficacy of the drugs for both Patty and I. And Patty, they've been effective. I'm on Plan B, and I find out next Saturday I'll have a scan. And I'll have a very big appointment. I think that's Monday, February 8th, about how we're doing. We don't think Plan B is working. We don't know yet, but my cancer markers keep really spiking. And so we think it's growing, but you never really know until you get the scan. And hopefully on the 8th, we'll know if we have a Plan C or not, or some good next steps. So please pray for efficacy. You've been praying for my pain management, and I've increased my pain medication. Again, with that comes side effects. It comes with a little bit more sedated Jim. So just pray for the family as they get used to me being a little bit more mellower. And again, I think less dad jokes. And then the third thing is probably very vulnerable. It's probably TMI for Facebook, but I'm suffering with pretty severe constipation, and that's creating a lot of problems. The more constipated I am, the less I eat. And I'm losing a pretty significant amount of weight a week. I'm starting to look at the weight I am now is probably the weight I should be, but in a couple of weeks, I could be in not a good zone. So I need to figure out this constipation out. They have a regimen for me, so you don't have to send me all your homemade cocktails, but advice helps. They have a regimen for me, but it's not working always. And because of the medicines, it creates more pressure on the organs that are expanding already. And so it just creates pain down there. And so pray for poop. And so I'm going to end basically this weekly update with praying for poop. Just pray for that constipation, and we really appreciate it. Love you guys that I can say such things to you and be so vulnerable with you, and for all that you do for me and for our family. Love you guys. Bye.